Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the live Q&A webinar. My name is Daniel. I'll be giving you the webinar today. As always, before we will begin, I would like us to go through a quick sound check. If you can please comment in the question section that the sound is in the proper level and that you can see the chart here. Okay, if you can comment that the chart here is visible, of course. Excellent, very good. All right. Okay. So like I said, my name is Daniel. We're gonna explain what will happen in the webinar, and then obviously we will begin. So first of all, we're gonna go through. This is like I said, this is a live Q&A webinar. We're gonna begin with the common questions that we have gathered from other webinars and previous webinars. Then we're gonna go through dynamic questions that I will receive from you guys, from the audience, during the webinar, and on the third part we'll have links and information and some nice privileges to assist you along your journey, and with additional time and with God's help perhaps we'll speak about analysis, only if we're not going to discuss it during the webinar. Okay, so like I said, you can ask all the questions that you have regardless the topic that we are speaking on. Even if it's something else, you can still put it down, and I will paste it here in the lovely dynamic question section. Okay, and I will answer it accordingly. Okay, so let's go through a nice disclosure over here, and then we will begin. Any capital markets and trading information disclosed in this webinar is provided for informative purposes only. It should not be constructed or applied as an investment advice, recommendation, or a suggestion. So as always, I'm going to go for a few seconds to make sure that the webinar is as recorded as it's supposed to be. And yeah, okay, so I'll be right back and we will begin. Okay, so everything looks okay. We have a very nice question here by, let's see, Kumo Tebayan. So just gonna paste your question, okay, and then like I said, we're gonna address. Oh, now is the sound? We have a problem with the sound. Let's see. Okay. Is it any better now? Is it any better now? Is it any better now? Do we have any improvement with the sound? How is it now? Is it fixed? Okay, I don't know what happened, but it seems like the audience is complaining about the sound. Let me try and restart the program. I don't know if it's gonna do anything. Oh, is it? It looks like it fixed. It looks like it's fine now. Okay. All right. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. So, how much money do I need to open one lot with Nasdaq? Okay. We're going to paste this wonderful question and we're going to see on the chart how it looks. Okay, so how much money do I need? Now, we're going to bring up, first of all, let me just open and say, because I've been requested, that this is the platform that is called the Web Trader platform. Okay, this is the platform that we are seeing now. Platform, Web Trader, maybe AvaGo, that's the app. And the asset that we are looking at is Nasdaq, or as you can see, it's going to change the contract name, US 100. US Tech 100. The reason is that Nasdaq is an umbrella of assets, okay, of stocks such as Apple and Google and all those very nice stocks, okay, and Nasdaq is an indice. Some indices, as you can see here, as it's written, it's a very common indice, and this is, I guess, this is why we have received the wonderful question: how much do I need? How much money do I need to open one lot with Nasdaq? Okay, so we are going to discover that now. As you saw, it was very simple. I put the search field, I put Nasdaq, and then I click it here from the list, sell or buy. Let's suppose that this wasn't in here, and I just click sell or buy. And we're gonna click those tiny arrows to make the screen taller. And we're gonna change the lot size to one lot. Okay. Excellent. Now, how much money do we need to open one lot of Nasdaq? Okay, so one lot of Nasdaq, what does it mean, one lot? Let's see. One lot equals, what does it says here? 100 units. Okay, shares, 100 indices. Okay, and the price here is 12,712. 12,712 per one share. Okay, and we have 100, so that means 12,700 multiply 100. Let's do it together. Let's see. 12. Okay. So, okay. So this is, guys, according to the calculation that I've done, which is pretty precise because I have a Microsoft calculator here, I need 1,271,200. Okay, approximately 1.27. Is this realistic? Is this real? Do I need to have $1 million in my account to open one lot of Nasdaq? Is that possible? No, because you have leverage. Good answer, Thomas. And Miss Jeannie, no margin. Okay, so few things. What is leverage? What is margin? This is the value for this position. Therefore, it must be the amount that I need. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I have to have this money in my account, because it's true that I am leveraged. Okay? Because this is CFDs trading, and in CFDs we have a multiplier that it's called leveraged. Okay, and leverage, what it does is it lets you buy or sell more units with the same balance. In other words, when I am multiplied by some number, let's suppose 1 to 10, just as an example, so I'm able to buy or sell as if I had 10 times more. Okay? In particular, as you can see, Nasdaq, if we divide let's try this exercise to find out the leverage. Okay, then I will show you how to check it in our platform, but because we are offering different platforms, so this is another way to see how much leverage we have. So we're going to take 1,270,000 and divide it by 63,000. And the leverage that we have is not 1 to 10, is 1 to 20. Okay, to make sure, if we insist and we want to see that it's truly 1 to 20, we're going to minimize by clicking on the two arrows and clicking here on the eye. And with that, we can see that the leverage is indeed 1 to 20. To bring it back, either sell or buy, and then it jumps back up, and then we can maximize again the screen. Okay. Now, the margin that is required. So what is the margin? The margin is an interpretation of my balance versus the leverage that I have, right? Now, if I'll take the value by itself, it's 1,000,000. I divide it by the leverage, it becomes 63,000. So the necessary amount is not 1,000,000, but 63,000. Will this be the same for all of the assets on our platform? Will the leverage always stay the same? No, the leverage is unique and individual, and that means that if I'm going to choose something like Netflix as an example, okay, what will it be? Let's see, Netflix. In this case, only 1 to 5, right? And if I'll take gold, so the gold, let's see, gold is also 1 to 20. Just like Nasdaq. And if I'll take sugar as an example, another commodity, so 1 to 10. So every asset has its own leverage, right? Leverage usually is 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 or 1 to 20, but it depends because every asset can have different leverage. Leverage could also be sometimes 1 to 50, right? Okay. Even 1 to 1. Sometimes the leverage is 1 to 2 or very small. Okay. Or like we saw with Netflix, 1 to 5. So the necessary amount is the margin impact and not the value. Okay. So what is the answer for this question? The answer is value divided by leverage. Okay, equals margin impact or needed amount, right? Because the question is asking not the margin impact. The question is asking how much we need. So we're gonna take this answer and we're gonna put it right here. Maybe we can make it smaller somehow. Okay. How can I find good entry? Wow, this is a kind of question that I like. Okay, so now we're talking business. Guys, what is exactly an entry? And why do I have to find an entry? Why can't I just buy now or sell now whatever asset that I am looking at, right? Why? Let's take coffee maybe. How is coffee doing? Well, decent. All right, so why, guys, do I have to find a good entry? And what is exactly an entry? Entry to where? Where are we going to? Let's put down coffee. Excellent. Okay. How do I find? So what is an entry, guys? Who knows? Max probability of profit, minimum risk. Okay. Interesting. Okay. What is an entry? Guys, what happens if I just let's suppose this candle is green. Let's suppose that we assume this candle is going up. Coffee is going up. I can take a buy now. What do you think that can happen if I take a buy now? Let me just also put down a few lines. Maybe we'll understand the meaning very soon, but we're gonna find out. Okay. All right. So let's paint what we call the resistance with green. Okay, as an example. And the other one, is it the same green? I don't know. Not even sure. And the support is going to be, let's keep it pink, no problem. So this is the, now we're looking at daily candles, just to be sure. We are looking at daily candles, and we are getting zero information from the candles. The reason is we are with no crosshair. Our crosshair is behaving as if it was without any data, right? So to get the data from the candles, we must change from no crosshair to crosshair. Okay, and then as you can see here in the window, it keeps on changing, right? When I'm changing with my hand across the chart, when I'm moving with my hand across the chart. Now, if this is daily, so this must be a day, and this is the 15th, and this is what? The 14th, and the 13th, and this is the weekend, right? And this is previous week, etc. Now, if I'm looking at this chart and I'm thinking that coffee possibly can go higher, okay, and I'm asking, should I buy right here? So I'm going to mention here 3 words: before, after, maybe before, while, and after, right? So I can buy before something happens, while something is happening, or after it already happened. Okay? In other words, if I buy here, okay, this line is another, we're going to change it to weeks. Okay, this is maybe it's too many lines. We're going to get rid of one of them so we can see what we're doing. And this is what we're going to call resistance. And this is the support. All of them, all of those levels are levels of support, not just one of the lines, all of them. Right now, because we've changed the time frames, the support moved to here or even to here. But still, those are levels of support. Now, when I'm looking at the chart and I'm thinking there is a possibility for coffee to go any higher, I believe that the next stop for coffee could be potentially here, 184. Now, because there is a question, coffee cannot be bought at the weekend. Look, some assets, to see the hours of the asset that you are trading with, you go here to the eye and then you see Saturday it's off and Sunday it's also not active. All right. Thank you for the lovely question. Okay. Now, because I believe that the next stop for coffee is 184, and we are with 178 per bushel, sorry, this one is not bushels, this is with weights, right? So you can see that the next stop is approximately $6 higher. How did I figure? Because, okay, and if I open it again to a daily, okay, let me just move down a little bit, this one, so we can see, or still we can't. Not really. How can I? There we go. All right. So, okay. So you can see, but still it's bothering me with, all right. Now, we can see that the next stop is higher, right? Somewhere here. And if I look down, so I can see that it can fall to 175. Now, if I buy here, okay, I'm looking at daily candles. If I buy here, my resistance, the last time that it's been higher was on the first, right? First was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. And I think if I buy here, okay, it can get to this line. This is another level of resistance. This one is a higher one. So this is $4 up, right? But it also has the potential to go down. So if I buy here, how much movements do I get from 178 to 182? But if I buy here on 175, I can get more movements. So 175 to 182. So let's just hypothetically pretend that we take, like we said, one lot, just like with Nasdaq. Okay. So with let's see. Take profit is gonna help us estimate the potential profit, right? So let's just change it this way. Okay, so what is take profit? Take profit is a price that can trigger. Perhaps I should pronounce it in a different way. Take profit is a price that if it gets to this price, if it triggers this price, it's going to close my position with a profit. If it gets to the price, it close the position with a profit, because I cannot say that it will get to this price because there is no guarantee. Okay? You should always remember, guys, that whatever you're planning can always be otherwise. This is why you should always do the risk money management. There we go. This is as precise as it can get, because there is also no guarantee it will get to here. So when I'm using take profit, and I believe that if it gets to a certain price, it closes with a profit, okay, it will help me estimate my potential profit. Because if it closes on the first resistance line from right now, 182, okay, so I will make 360. Okay, 360 is almost $4 up. Excellent. Okay, this is a little less relevant for now. Actually, we can count it. No problem. We can count it. Let's say that our support line is 175. Okay, our stop loss. Now, if I buy it here, okay, my way up and my way down, as you can see here, is almost equal. Okay, how much of a difference I have here? $7. $3, sorry. And here also almost 3.5. But if, as an example, I'd buy it here on 175, right? As an example, let's use this price as an example for an entry. Okay, so what will happen is, let's use something called execute when price hits. What is execute when price hits? Same idea as those other pending orders, but it opens execute. They are all pending orders. They are all triggered automatically if it gets to this price. Execute when price hits. Okay, so what it does is it will open, if it gets to the price, it will open the position on that price. So for instance, I don't want to buy now 178. I want to buy on 175. So I click here and I click 175. Okay, as you can see here, and uh my potential profit is more considerable. The reason, because if I buy here 175 and it gets to 182, that's a larger difference. That's a larger difference than 178 to 182. And when I'm buying, I want to buy with gaining as much movements as I can. Still, there is no guarantee, but it makes I can make more profits. And if my stop loss instead of 175 is the next support line, I only lose potentially $200 if it triggers. Okay. Also, I can buy here. There is not a lot of difference, but for here 175, I feel safer. Okay, as an example to find a good entry. Do we have any questions regarding what I've explained just now? Do we have any questions? I'm gonna give you guys a few seconds to ask questions regarding that, and then we will carry on. All right. So, yes. The idea. Look, there is a question here from George. Will this work on any other asset? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. This exercise should work on every other asset, but again, you should remember that every other asset has its own support and resistance, his own numbers, his own take profit and stop loss, because the proportions are different. Okay, but the exercise, what I have done is I've marked the edge point. As you can see, this is a lower point because of this candle. This is another lower point. This is another lower point. I have many more, but this one's that I've picked. Because if we look at this chart as a room, you can see that as a room, okay, it will look approximately like this, I could say, right? Somewhere here. This is the time frame that I'm looking at. Yeah, does it make sense? There is a question here. I have a question regarding day trading. Of course. Go ahead. Feel free. Okay, but regarding that, guys, do we have any more questions beside George's question? Okay. All right. So let's carry on. Let's put here checking support and of course there are many more. There are many more ways to find a good entry, guys. Okay, it's only one out of many because it's more related to strategy. It's not a formula that support and resistance must be acknowledged. Okay, it's one of the things that you can check. How can I improve my fundamental analysis? How do I improve? Okay, first of all, let's understand what is fundamental analysis. Okay, speaking of which, perhaps I should also explain about technical analysis. Fundamental analysis and technical analysis, right? All right, so let's see what are the following questions. What is the best amount to begin with? How do I analyze candlesticks? Okay, so we're gonna take down two birds with potentially one stone. Okay. We're gonna try and do that. Maybe it will be easier if I just do it this way. Will it work? Okay, it looks like it's fine. So we have two questions. How can I improve my fundamental analysis? How do I analyze using candlesticks? Okay, so that means, in other words, both of those questions are referring to analysis, fundamental and technical analysis. Now we're gonna try and analyze a few candles. Okay, so the question: when taking a position, do you generally day trade per session, e.g., like only trading London session, then closing your position just before New York session considered? Okay, so I'm gonna paste your question, like I said to Kumani in the beginning, and we're gonna get to it very, very soon. All right. Okay. Thank you. It looks like a wonderful question. How can I improve? Now, let's go back to coffee and let's get rid of this guy. Okay. Doesn't wanna. Excellent. So we're looking at coffee. Coffee became 177, as you noticed. Our questions here are: how do I analyze using candlesticks and fundamental analysis? Let me ask you guys. Let me show you also to change to months. Okay. What do you think? What do you think? Okay, that happened that got coffee so low and then it gotten so high? Let's also try and summarize the times over here. Okay, this is roughly okay. Who knows what happened between the white lines to the blue lines? Blue lines is November 2021 to September roughly. So what happened, guys? Can anybody tell me? I need somebody who watches the news. Somebody who's looking at the news every now and then. Both of the cases are bad for the world. Both how can I describe it? Oh, this one, excuse me guys, this one doesn't show the dates. What have I done? I put it in white. If it's playing, okay. I'm so sorry. Guys, what happened between those dates? What happened between those dates? Why? And I'm telling you up front that those two events, so-called, are very negative. This one and that one. I'm gonna paste you the answer in a few moments. Anybody wants to take a guess? What happened in the past 4 years until roughly a year and a half ago? Oh, COVID. Will it stay this time? Will it stay? Yes. Okay. And in here, what happened in here? Who knows? Okay, what happened between Russia and Ukraine? Okay, good guess. So some people in the audience wrote war. How war has any impact on coffee? Why would the war affect coffee in some way? Okay, there is a question here by Sheikh. I've also read. It's not to enter in the middle. Thank you for another lovely question. Let me paste it here. I'm probably going to rephrase your question, but please don't. Okay. There are a lot of guests here. Let's see, sanctions. Someone is saying Brian. Also, Upton. May there is so less may delivered. The supply of coffee will be limited. Exactly, and this is the word that I was looking for. Right? Supply and demand, guys. What is supply and demand? How does the war has anything to do with supply and demand? Who can tell me? How does the war has anything with supply and demand? Transportation, exactly. Transportation. So that means that what? What do you mean by transportation? Let's see. Okay, I understand. So it was difficult to supply. It was difficult to transport coffee. So if we'll take wheat or other commodities that are also coming from the same region, let's see if we can find uh, the same similar movement. Okay, all right. So the war, I understand. What happened with coffee that made it so low during COVID? Anybody knows? Why is it so low? Why was it so low during COVID? So war, I understand it's difficult, it's dangerous, you can't transport the commodities, it makes sense. Why did it drop so low on during COVID? Because there was nobody to drink the coffee. Well, that's a good description. It's a good description. So in other words, what do you mean by there was nobody to drink the coffee? So businesses was closed. Exactly. In other words, guys, in other words, there was nobody to demand the coffee in the coffee places. There was no demand. Okay? This is why. Exactly. Perfectly composed. Lockdown issue and everybody was at home, less workers, less farmers. Precise. So this is fundamental analysis. We analyze those things, we understand the logic behind what happened with coffee. Now, uh, fundamentals. Now, if I'm looking at the technical side of how coffee behaved, okay, I analyze all of this. Excellent. I change from months to something that is realistic to me, okay, and right now, I'm looking at weeks. And I see that this is, as an example, the lowest point that it's been uh, in the past year, I could say. Maybe not in the past year, in the current year. And this is in the beginning of the year. Now, where do you think, okay, right now, let me just state here, this is, you will understand very soon why I'm marking this point, okay? We said, it has increased because of the war. And now it's decreased because of the same reason, right? Because the war is slowly, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if it keeps on going, but from what I've heard, it's slowly it's getting resolved. Okay. Now, but I might be wrong, so don't take me as a news reporter or something. So I'm looking at the price here, okay, and I'm thinking, should I buy or should I sell? Okay, let me put another line here just to make it easier. And I think if war has brought coffee so high, right, and now the war is slowly, like we said, we assume that it's getting solved. Okay, perhaps it's gonna keep on decreasing, right? As an example, I'm using those fundamentals. I believe that it will decrease. Now, 177 is a price that I think that the next support line is very far down. Okay, it's very far down. Now, if I analyze those tails, those, let me just, I hope that I can capture, but only this part. And hopefully I can do the same exercise here. No, it's not gonna let me. It's not gonna let me. Okay, let's just analyze this guy. Who can explain to me this candle? Who can explain? Let's put down its figures. What is the date here? Why I have no information? Because no crosshair. Yes, Danny, we know. We know. No crosshair, no information. We know. So 30 of the how is it showing me the 30th? Because those are weeks. Remember, we changed, now it's weeks. Open is 169. Close is 173.5. High is 184. And low. All right. All right. We must understand those things in order to analyze candlesticks. Okay. Let's do it together. Let's do it. 169.1 minus 173.5. So this is 4.4. This is 67. Okay. Guys, I have two figures here. Hammer, candlesticks, one bullish confirmation. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. It's very nice, nice input. Okay, but let me explain it to the audience. Guys, why this candle is looking like a hammer falling down? This is its body. This is what we call the body, and this is the tails, right? So we have also a nice hammer here, and also we have a nice one here, and maybe this one will end up being one. Okay. What are those figures, guys? Why those figures are so different from each other, right? This is the difference between the open and the close. So therefore, the green lines, because this candle is green. So the green lines, this is the prices that showing us, like I said, the body, and the tails will be with maybe gray. Do we have gray here? Okay. So that means that this candle, what happened 3 weeks ago? Who knows what happened? Okay, never mind. We don't have the time, so I can just tell you that it went up and then it went down. This is what's showing us the tail. Now we're going to put here to remember the date, and we're going to change to a smaller time frame. Okay, as you can see here, well, I made a lot of mess. Sorry guys, it must be how can I get rid of some things here? Okay. Now, as you can see here, it climbed and then it fell. How could I possibly know that? Because this is what's giving us the tail that we are looking at. Now, this tail is a sign for what? What if I'm looking at an asset that was on its way up and it fell down? And here again, similar movements, right? So it's a sign for what? What am I looking at? Okay, rejection. Okay, rejection. What is exactly what rejection? What is being rejected? Peter, if you can explain. What do you mean by rejection of what? And also look, as you can see, similar behavior, right? Up and down, up and down. As you can see here, I can also mix, but okay. So that means what could be what should we expect afterwards? We're analyzing these candles. What should we expect afterwards when we see two candles with two tails? One tail, another tail. So what does it mean? That it could turn around. Thank you very much. That you could turn around. So what could help me understand whether if it's really turning around or it could carry on up? How could I confirm that it's going down? Because again, there is no guarantee. But still, how can I confirm? How can I confirm that it's going down? Head and shoulders. Okay, maybe. Head and shoulders, maybe. How can I know? If I think that my way down, do we have more questions? Let's see. Oh, we should carry on. We should carry on. Guys, so I hope you understood. The idea is that every candle technical analysis is when we analyze the candlesticks. Fundamental is what we've explained about the COVID and the war and what we talked about. And like I said, every candle is part of a structure. If you dig deeper, there is even a very interesting structure to see, but unfortunately we don't have time to explain about fundamental and technical analysis. Sorry guys that I cannot proceed with the explanation, but we have very important questions from the audience and I wish to what's the best amount to begin with? This is not a question and I can answer right away, unfortunately. But I can say that everybody can. Let me give you the quick solution. Contact your senior account manager. I'm sure they will know the job. Very, very sorry, but my purpose here is to help the audience, and this is why I'm going to look at the questions that. Okay. Adib, there is no way for me to unmute you, unfortunately, but you can put your question down and I will address it. Okay, a large part of trading involved in risk management. Okay, volatility, sure. What factors? What are the most widely used or reliable? Looking forward volatility indicators. Okay, so a few things. Volatility that you can measure could be with through, let me just show it to you instead of telling you stories. If you click here, you can see that RSI, the relative strengthening index, could assist you with those levels. Okay, it's very easy to apply. You click here, relative strength index, or you can put the ATR to understand how much of fluctuations it's experienced, or also Bollinger Bands. Click, drag, and then you choose the deviations that make sense. It summarizes some kind of a form, but I really don't have a lot of time to explain, unfortunately. When taking a position, do you generally trade per? That depends. That depends. I don't tend to scalp unless I'm very certain on what I'm doing. Furthermore, scalping requires a lot of attention and money that I'd rather use something else. But scalping is also you can make a lot of money with scalping. I just personally, like I said, I do something else, but it's also good to scalp if you really know. I've also read that you should in the middle of the trend. Okay, so do you have tips? Okay, so should I enter in the middle of the trend? So as I've explained about here, the webinar is recorded. You can see about good entry point. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time to answer this question too thoroughly, but let me paste the links here and then I will do my best. How do I send it to you guys? Right, through the chat. Guys, this is very, very nice, brand new education center. You can enjoy a lot of videos and tutorials there. This is to make a deposit if you had enough from the webinars and right now you want to make a deposit and start moving. So you can click here on the link and then start moving. The FAQ and the help center to get even more support after the webinar. And this is for a real account if you are done with the demo and you want to, like I said, get down to business. And this is also an academy with all kind of courses and about candlesticks and what we have explained and some additional things about fundamental analysis. And it's for free and I highly recommend to see it at least once. Okay, and at the end of the webinar, I will give you the special promotion to get one-on-one market review with your senior account manager. Okay, there is a question by Adib Noorani. How do I check the following currencies options? Options chain, open interest, change the open interest. Look, this is also a question that could be addressed by your senior account manager. Okay, so Jeannie, you're asking if I am a senior account manager. The answer is yes. Part of what I do is I am also a senior account manager. All right, Steven, I am Steven Munga. Is there a limit to how much can I buy or sell for a trade? Let me just paste the question here, then we can see if we can. Just a second, we'll see if we can get an answer now. I'm sorry, Steven, this is less relevant. Is there a limit? How much can I buy or sell in a trade? Couldn't see pairs as an example. Look at the answer for the first question that we did with Nasdaq. We did this lovely exercise, how much money do I need for one lot? And you can use the same exercise to simply correlate how much you need with the currencies. Yeah, you can. It's the same. It's the same exercise. That's really the same for currencies as much with Nasdaq. Just with Nasdaq, like I said, for currencies, let me just show it to you on the chart. How do I? Okay. What was the Euro GBP? Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do, very, very simple. What we're going to do is we're going to take the pair that you've picked. How do I get in contact with a senior account manager for a one-on-one session? Well, it's very simple. You're gonna make a deposit and take the code that I'm gonna give you at the end of the webinar. I'm gonna give you a code. Let me just give it to you now so I can explain. And then I will explain Mr. Steven here about what he has asked. Okay, so guys, this is the benefit. I'm gonna give it to you, and then I'm gonna explain Steven what he asked about currencies. Whoever wants to stay is more than welcome to stay, and it's on the chat. So simply make a deposit and give this to your senior account manager and ask for a one-on-one premium market review, and he's gonna give it to you. Steven, thank you for the question. Please look at the chart while I am showing you the solution. Euro GBP. Of course, it's a pleasure. Peter, we do our best always. We do our best. I appreciate that you were thanking me, but like I said, this is we do our best to educate clients. Whoever wants to get education, so he's welcome. We're not forcing anyone. So thank you, and of course you can see as many webinars as you want. Euro GBP. Steven, you asked if there is a limit. The answer is no, but the answer is also yes, and the reason is because there is a limit to the amount that you can take, but there is no limit of how many positions you take as long as you have the margin. So if we compare one lot, not necessarily going to take one lot, but just for the sake of the discussion. So we're going to take 100,000 pound, euro or pound, okay. We're going to take that, multiplied by 100. How much is that? Sorry, by one lot, that means 100,000, I'm sorry. So 0.8 multiply 100, right? So that becomes 106, almost 107. Okay, but let's say 106. So this is the value. This is the value for one lot, which is 100,000 currencies. Okay. Now, thanks to the leverage, as we said, of course, you don't have to stay. Like I said, I'm explaining this to Steven because this is the last question, but of course, it's a pleasure. It's of course. Leverage. Okay, so leverage is, we don't know yet. And the margin impact. All right, so the margin impact is 3,560. Now, instead of 106,000, I only need 3,560. Why is that? Because if I minimize the chart and I click here on the eye, I see that there is leverage. Okay, and the leverage is 1 to 30. That means that I can divide my 106,000 by 30, and this is the amount that I need. Does this make sense, Steven? Yes, of course. You can do it in any other currency or any other asset that you want. It's, of course. Anyway, guys, this is enough for today, and I appreciate everybody who joined. It's been a pleasure. So I'll see you in a week, and that's it. Best of luck. Succeed with trading, and have a good day. Of course. Thank you.